Greetings, family. Good evening, family. Good evening. Good night. How are you? I hope everyone is doing super fantastic. I hope you are well. It's Dr. Kia Pruitt, and I'm back with a live stream right after we just heard the interview between Dr. Kia Pruitt, me, and Mel Carmine, who I call the XRP guru. So, Mel Carmine spoke to us about XRP, XLM, and I think he said XDS. Those are digital assets that Mel Carmine speaks about fluently or often on his channel, XRPQFS Team 1. So I thought it was very important for me to bring him on today to let you all know what XRP is and how you can purchase it and buy it in your own, put it in your own possession. Thank you. It was XRP, XLM, and XDC. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello. Good evening. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt again. It is Sunday, January the 29th, 2023, and the time right now is 7:12 p.m. And some people say it's XDC, some people say XTC. I just know about XRP and XLM. So you all are educating me. And Mel, who is the guru, has also educated me as well. So peace, family. Hi, sun, moon, star. Beautiful. Hello. Thank you for watching me. I sincerely appreciate it. Deep Jean, creator, bless you for years. Wow. I am so honored. Thank you. Hello, J Flow. Hello. Hi, Caribbean Kid Investment. Good evening. Good evening to the Gats. Bless you as well. Good evening, Captain Switch. Yeah, you were interested in what Mel Carmine had to say. That's awesome, Captain Switch. I'm going to respond to your email later on this evening or in the morning. Thank you, Sister Deborah Wallace. Hello. Hey, sister. Hey. Is this the Deborah Wallace from the House of God? If that's you, we grew up in the same church organization. Hi, family. And if not, I'm still happy you're here. Welcome. XDC is backed by Copper. Good evening, Cleveland, Ohio in the house. C-Town. Thank you. And Charlotte Wood. The Cosmic Knowing is here from Chicago. Duval is in the house. That's Northern Florida here in Jacksonville. Hi, Joseph. Hi, Sunchild. Peace and abundance. Good evening, everybody. XDC is new, somebody just said, but they've been in this for years. Caribbean Kid Investment says XRP, XLM, XDC. Yes, pure love to everybody. Hello, Chanel OG. I am so happy that you all are here. I know they say never invest into something until you understand or have a great understanding. So this is why I brought Mel Carmine on, because he has a whole workbook. I mean, a complete write-up about what digital assets are, how you can get into them. I was glad to see you. Thank you. Oh, I love Mark Z. Yes, I love supporting our fellow patriots and fellow intel providers and freedom riders. I thought it was important to bring Mel Carmine on because he knows so much about it. So you could go to his website. I think he said it was QFS1776 at gmail.com. Oh my God, the news is going to be hot this week. South Carolina's in the house. Trottville, Virginia's in the house. Peace, family. Long Island is here. Hello, Brother Joe. Peace. Tennessee's in the house. Yes. So the three X's the GATS is saying XRP, XLM. Oh, okay. XRP, thank you, is backed up by gold. XLM is backed by silver. XDC is backed by copper. Somebody says they're waiting for the white hats to take everything down. Oh, it's my pleasure. You are more than welcome. Yes, I am so glad to see everybody. There's just so much going on right now. I thought I should come on this evening. Hello, aloha, Bronze. I will come on for this evening. And of course, I want to try not to be too long. Hello, East Texas. So I see Hawaii was in the house, East Texas, Connecticut. Hello, Sister Veronica. Who else? You can feel the party. Yes, it's already starting. Hello, Frank, Brother Frank. Chicago's in the house. Oh, the Gats is Patriot Moms. A neighbor. Thank you, Patriot Mom. You are always here. We really appreciate you. St. Kit is in the house. Wow. Blessings, family. Canada Banks not showing anything yet. St. Kitts is here. Who else? Central Alabama's in the house. Hello. Yes, good evening. The debt clock is still, I think it's still at 0. I'll bring that up for you. Hello, Houston is in the house. Pennsylvania's in the house. Hi, everybody. Even Australia, all the way from Australia. Peace, family. Wow. Oh, you're from Western Pennsylvania near Pittsburgh. Peace, sister. It's so good to see you. 157 people, now 179 in the chat. Please hit the like button. That will help us out a lot. Make sure you share the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure. Hi, New Zealand. Hi, Grant. It's always good to see you. It's a pleasure. This world is ours. There's a song, If This World Were Mine. Oh, honey, this world belongs to us. We the people. So good to see everybody. I don't know if you all knew. Oh, you're outside of Memphis. Yes. I don't know if you all knew what's coming, what about this important day coming up. Hi, New Mexico, Philadelphia. Good evening, Sister Antoinette. Ooh, yes. Canada's in the house. Slaves no more. Patriot Mom, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's so good. You're hearing, yes, I've heard the same thing about the Iraqi dinar, that it has revalued. We'll talk a little bit about that. Hi, Finding Dory, and my baby sister Sheree's in his house. Hi, sister. I love you so much. She is one of my greatest supporters. She might be my greatest supporter. Thank you, sister. That's my biological sister. Aloha. Yes. Northwest Alaska, Arkansas, excuse me. We are the chosen ones. So somebody said, fill us in. Hi, family. It's so good to see you all. Well, as you all are checking in. I know it's Sunday night and everybody has to get up in the morning for work or to start your business. If you don't work for anybody, you work for yourself. In a couple days, we will celebrate a very important day, family, that you may not have heard of before. And this day is none other than National Freedom Day. Somebody say freedom. Hallelujah. Glory to God. Glory to the Most High. Listen, family. Oh, Brazil's in the house. February the 1st is National Freedom Day. This is a very important day. Yes. So my sister says she's my greatest supporter because I helped raise her. She's 14 years younger than I. So she's a twin. There's Sheree and Sheila. So Sheree was my baby. Okay. And my brother took care of Sheila. We were teenagers helping my mom take care of the babies. I can't even tell y'all the stories. We birthed them, fed them. And I hope I don't embarrass my baby sister, but I lost the pacifier, so I used to have her to suck on my lip. You know how babies like to suck on things, and we just had this bond since her birth. So that is my baby sister. She is my biggest supporter, and she's also the one who, I always say this, that told me, Kia, you're doing social media now. You have to have a high emotional quotient, a high EQ. That means emotional intelligence. Keep your emotions in check and keep the goal in mind and stay focused on the goal of inspiring people, and do not get off track no matter how hard it gets, no matter how hot the fire gets, no matter how badly you're spoken against or talked about, no matter how crazy you seem, people will get it eventually. Don't take anything personal. Don't make any assumptions, and keep a high EQ and stay emotionally intelligent. My baby sister told me that. So I'm very, very grateful to my sister Sheree. I have to give her accolades. Her accolades, because the scripture says give honor to whom honor is due. So I give honor to my baby sister for teaching her baby sister something. Thank you, Sister Gats. So family, somebody say freedom. Freedom. FREEDOMDAY. FREEDOMDAY. February the 1st is Freedom Day. Now, what does Freedom Day commemorate? Freedom Day actually is a very important day because, and we can say, let freedom ring, not just for this race of people, this so-called race of people. Why? Because we are all one. We're all from source. And if we decide to ever get out of here and transition to the other place, or heaven as people call it, we will return to source. So Freedom Day commemorates 1865, when President Abraham Lincoln signed when he signed what later became the 13th Amendment. This amendment is important because it effectively ended slavery in the United States. Okay, so February the 1st is National Freedom Day. It was founded to celebrate the freedoms that we enjoy in the United States. They say as citizens, I say as sovereign beings, freedoms that we should never take for granted. So family, this day, February the 1st, was founded to celebrate our freedoms and to commemorate 1865, when slavery effectively and officially ended for people in America. Now they say for people who were colored or copper colored people or so-called people, slaves. So effectively what we're celebrating even on this February the 1st, 2023, is the end of slavery. Hello, family. Isn't this exciting? Because the end of slavery ushers us into freedom, our era of Nasara, the golden era, the era to which we will ascend. Gold, as in CORONA, as in crown, as in raising up into your higher state, your highest state, your crown chakra being activated. So this is what we will celebrate on February the 1st, 2023. And some people say that February the 1st will be the day when the US dollar will no longer be considered legal tender. This is what's coming out in the pipeline. Now, this may be true because, as you all have noticed, when you go to ATM machines, I know I've been to several ATM machines at Wells Fargo banks, and people have reported checking other banks' ATM machines, they were completely out of money. We also know that banks were out of money, that people were going to some of their banks and there was no money in their accounts. Now, it could have been a bank bail-in, but let's look at all the stuff that's going on together. Line upon line, line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little, there a little, is what the scripture says that you need to do. Take all the information together and look here and look there and bring it together and put the puzzle pieces together until you see the big picture. ATMs are out of money. Banks, some of them are out of money. Banks are closing. The US debt clock, everything is zeroed out. Or the dollar to oil ratio is zero. The dollar to silver ratio is zero. The dollar to gold ratio is zero. What in the world is going on? Now, we also know that planes were grounded, right? And we honestly feel that the reason why the planes were grounded was because there were assets that were being flown in the sky by the military. So they grounded every single plane in America a couple of days ago for 2 days, at least 24 hours, and some say 2 days. So Why did they ground those planes? Because they were delivering assets. The only reason why they would do something like that is if there are potential enemies in the sky that they have to make sure we're safe from, or they're transporting assets that are so important that they have to have everybody else out of the sky. Now, we know that they've been transferring gold to the banks. We know this because central banks have been buying up records amounts of gold. We've reported that over and over, how last quarter alone, central banks have bought 400 tons of gold. We also know, because people have been reporting to us, that as they've been going to their banks and talking to bankers and managers, they found out that the new rainbow colored currency, which is backed by gold and silver and other commodities, palladium and platinum, is coming as being transported into the banks. So this is why we know that those banks have been grounded. So it makes sense that we actually might be completely free from debt and completely free from slavery, from the fiat dollar. That's the USD or the greenback. So let's look at this debt clock. It still says the same thing, family. It still says that the dollar to silver ratio is what? $0 per ounce. The dollar to gold ratio is $0 per ounce. And what else? Oh, so silver and gold, and what else? Oil. The dollar to oil ratio is $0 per ounce. Now, there's an asterisk up there, so possibly, you need to go here. I heard somebody say, and look and see what that asterisk means. Somewhere up here you can check. But at the same time, where you see zero here, you also see something peculiar going on. And this is something that one of our family members said. Household assets are increasing while it looks like the dollar is zeroing out. So how are household assets increasing and the total national assets are increasing? Somebody said that the number of millionaires continues to increase day by day. So something is going on, and it smells like Nasara. It smells like Nasara is going on, family. Now, so National Freedom Day is to be celebrated on February the 1st, 2023, and that's only about 3 days away. We know, speaking of 2023, that we are in a new year. We know 2023, when you add 2 plus 2 plus 3, you get the number 7, and 7 is the year of completion, or the number of completion. Speaking of 7, we also know that we are at the end of a 7-year cycle called the Shemitah. So we're in the end of a Shemitah cycle. And as you all know here, the Shemitah means release, let go, be free. Okay, to be released from debt, to be let go from slavery. This is what Shemitah means. So what is a Shemitah cycle? When the children of Israel came out of slavery in Egypt, they spent some time coming through the wilderness, and then they went into the promised land. When they arrived into the promised land, Yahweh, the God of the Hebrews, told them to count a cycle of 7 years. And on that 7th year, they were to have a year of release that we call Shemitah, because we're Hebrew. We grew up in a Hebrew tradition, my sister and I, my family and I. And what that meant was you're supposed to let go all your slaves, or if anybody owed you debt, you were supposed to release them. Can you say Jubilee? Can you say Nasara? So what has happened, unfortunately, historically in our history in America, is during the Shemitah cycle, or the end of the 7th year, what they would do instead of releasing us and let us go was they would have a stock market crash. They would crash the markets. They would have a housing market crash, or some type of big financial disruption to cause us to be traumatized and be further enslaved, because they are nefarious. But this is a new era. I mean, you could go back all the way to the Great Depression, 2029, they had a stock market crash. 7 years later, there was something else that happened. 7 years later, go all the way down in history. And if you don't want to look that far, look at what happened in 2001 with what happened on 9/11. We then had a stock market crash then, and then 7 years later, we had another crash. That was 2008. That was a big crash, right? And then we had something similar in 2015, and then 2022. So this is the year 2022, 2023 is another Shemitah cycle. It's the 7th year of that cycle. You can expect something spectacular to happen. On one hand, you will have a financial crash, right? Because you have to get rid of the old system in order to go into a new system, but you will also have a year of release. And how do we know this? How you know this, Dr. Pruitt? You could just be talking out the side of your neck, okay? Well, we know this because we can look at Gematria. We looked at history and we know that historically they've always had to crash in the Shemitah cycle on the 7th year, the end of that 7th year cycle. But when you look at 2023, 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 7. That's the year of completion. And then you look at what the Hebrew year is. The Hebrew year is 5783. Now, you add up 5 plus 7 plus 3, and you come up with 5, which represents humanity, which represents freedom. And it represents humanity in that, you have 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 senses. But in the Hebrew tradition, it represents freedom, and it is also the year of retribution. Okay, so look at 5783. And 5783 is represented by the third letter in Hebrew, which is the Gimel or Gimel, Gimmel. And that 3, you can say 3 is like a Asar, a Set, and Heru, or the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, or Father, Son, Holy Ghost, which is the Father, Mother, and the child, humanity. So the 3 represents, the Gimel, the third letter, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and all that, but it still represents also 5, because 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 3 equals 5. Humanity, freedom. What else? I wrote it down. I don't see what else. I don't see my other notes, but so let's look at this word Gimel. So Gimel again is the Gimel is the third letter, and that's what it symbolizes. The 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 3 is symbolized or represented by the Gimel, the third letter again of the Hebrew language, and that looks like a man walking. And so Hebrew scholars will tell you that that man walking, or that symbol or that letter, actually represents a rich person that's walking towards humanity to help them. The rich person that's walking away from troubles and trials and tribulations and walking towards humanity to bless them, to bliss them, to take care of them, to help the poor. This is very significant because that is exactly what Nasara is about. That is exactly what being liberated and free is about. It is about being free from your debt and your slavery to go and help somebody else. So this is a very, very important time. So I want you to look at this, because when you look at the Gimel, I want you to see what the Gematria of Gimel looks like. Okay, somebody's saying something. 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 3, 23. Biblical numerology means set apart and special people. Thank you, Sister Gats, the Gats. That's great information to know. So the Gimel also represents the benefactor who gives charity. So under Nasara, under this golden era, a lot of you will become benefactors who will give charity to people who are in need during this time of freedom and this golden era. So now let you look at the Gematria value, which is the language, or for people who are the so-called elite, they have their own language based on numerology. I can just tell you that the gematria for Gimel means I am God. It vibrates on the same frequency as I am God. So hold on. Hey, Sister Tansy. The Gimel walking to bless is like the king bringing gold to baby Jesus, following the Bethlehem star to find Jesus and give them gold to hide out in Ethiopia while Herod was murdering baby boys. Thank you so much. That was beautiful, Sister the Gats. So somebody says join them on Freedom Day at the Female Solution Wednesday the 7th. All right. So yes, we're almost there. So the gematria of Gimel actually means I am God. Now let's look at the gematria of 5783 again, which is hi Lonnie. It's always good to see you. Yes, I'm busy today. Let's look at the gematria of 5783. And I'm going to make this all make sense in the end as we move towards Freedom Day, which is February the 1st, 2023. This family is so interesting. So you can go to gematrix.org and you put in 5783, that's the year that we're in now, and look at the gematria value. So I'm going to slow down because people always say, take a breath, Pruitt. This is crazy. I've never seen gematria that had actually long phrases. Usually it's short phrases or one word. So the gematria calculator for 5783. Look at this. This isn't Jewish gematria. Every single person who took the CV no longer has a soul. So I'm not saying that's true. I'm just telling you, when you look at the value of 5783, it has the same value as these phrases here, or they resonate on the same frequency. So this is very interesting. I'm only going to read a few. Also, we in I don't know what this is. I don't know, understand that language. Another one is my great God Yah is going to use the black woman in a special way, and the devil can't stop it. Now, I don't know what black woman they talking about. I don't even know if they're talking about black as in copper colored, black as a legal status, but that's pretty interesting. I have never seen anything like that when I put in a gematria number or word to see, what it also means or what vibration it resonates on. So my great God Yah is going to use the black woman in a special way, and the devil can't stop it. It means decode 4444444. Also, they all ate and were satisfied. Okay, that sounds right. When you think about the Gimel, being a man who is, being a benefactor who helps and gives charity to the poor or to those in need. They all ate and were satisfied, and the disciples picked up 12 baskets of broken pieces of bread and fish. The gematria value of 5783 is, I'm so glad that corrupt, evil lawyers will be brought to justice. Enokai Elohim Yahweh Yeshua Mamekai Shemaya Lashon Ruach Hadesh Hakodesh Rasha Hasatan Halel Ben Sahar Toeb Pakad Nezek Karek Sheol. Somebody please translate that. I don't speak Hebrew as I should, but I do not. Also, Zachary Carr, you need to delete your garbage too polluted gematria by accusing his brethren. Don't know what that means. September 21st, 2020. Something must have happened on September 21st, 2020. We'll have to check into that. And other things. Here's another one. I have many millionaires and billionaires making war on me, and I don't have a dime, but they lose their souls. Very, very interesting. Also, happy birthday, Jesus, you stud muffin. We love you. And here's an interesting one. President Trump, Jesus Christ, has been trying to save you, and you shat on his sandwich. I don't know what that means, but I just think it's something when you put in a certain number or you put in a certain phrase, you will get a value for that phrase in the Gematria calculator. So I wanted to show you that because I found that very, very interesting. So again, that's 5783, which comes out to be 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 8 is 20, plus 3, that's 23. And then you do 2 plus 3 equal 5. 5 is the number of humanity. We have 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 senses. 5 is also a number for freedom and goodness and the grace of God. 5, or the 5, it represents, again, humanity. And in the Hebrew tradition, the Gamel, again, represents a rich person going towards people who are in need and giving them aid. So this is something that I wanted to bring to your attention, because as we go into Freedom Day, we've been told that the United States dollar will no longer be accepted or no longer be seen as legal tender. And that makes sense when you keep in mind that January the 1st, 2023 was when all banks had to become Basel IV compliant. So those banks that had to be Basel IV compliant had to first be Basel III compliant, making gold a tier 1 asset, making gold now money instead of the dollar as money. So as we move into Freedom Day, we should keep our eyes open to see if indeed they will make some type of special announcement, or if indeed we start to see these rainbow colored gold-backed currencies come into circulation. So again, that information has been coming out that there will no longer be, you see the US dollar as, or the fiat dollar as legal tender. And if you look in the community section of my YouTube channel, you look at the top of the YouTube channel, you see lives, you see popular, you'll see videos, you see all type of things. But go to the tab that says community, and you will see where I put up a meme that says Freedom Day, United States dollar will no longer be accepted as legal tender. So what we do know is that most countries have already announced that they are returning to the gold standard. And we also know, as I said, that there's going to be a stock market crash. So let me show you this right here when it comes to stock market crash. And what I would encourage you all to do is to be encouraged and to see this as just information so that you can be proactive and prepare yourself, but not to be afraid, okay? Because although this is the end of the 7th-year cycle, one of the cycles of the Shemitah cycle, you know this happens at the end of the Shemitah cycle every single time. So when you look over history, you can read the book called The Harbinger by Jonathan Kahn, I think his name is. He tells you this has happened historically. So don't be surprised when the stock market crashes. Now, we've been saying this, that before we go into a new system, you have to crash the old system, because at the end of every empire, this is something that I learned from talking to an economist, an Austrian economist. At the end of every empire, they print as much money as they can, they spend as much money as they can, they rack up the debt. Remember, Janet Yellen just announced January the 19th on Thursday, 2023 of this year, that the United States has reached its debt ceiling. It can't go any higher, allegedly. They reached their debt limit. At the end of every empire, they spend up all the money, use up all the credit, they print as much as they can, and then they crash that system. And they go into a new financial system. That's why I brought Mel Carmine on for you all to talk about XRP and other digital assets, because what's happening now is we don't have to depend on their old financial system, okay? We don't have to depend on the stock market. We can now have our own decentralized monetary system by buying gold and silver, palladium, platinum, digital assets, XRP, what y'all say, XLC, XLD or something like that. All these things will help us to operate outside of the nefarious system. And this is why President Donald Trump put the duties of the IRS and the Federal Reserve underneath the United States Treasury Department, because he was getting rid of the Federal Reserve, and he was getting rid of what do you call it? The IRS. So there will be a stock market crash. And I know we've been saying that for a long time, and people kept saying, oh, it won't happen. The stock market is looking good. You're just spreading fear. No, this is just real news. It's going to happen. Stock markets are set to crash 37%, is what this article from kitco.com says. So stock markets are set to crash 37% as the suckers rally. They shouldn't have called the people suckers, okay? The suckers rally in, and gold and silver will take off, they say. Now, the thing about these nefarious people, all financial advisors are not bad because they're just doing their job. But the thing about these people is they're the ones who told us, oh, invest in the stock market. You can trust the stock market. Keep doing it. Don't listen to these gold bugs out here. Gold and silver, oh, those are relics. These people don't know what they're talking about. But they'll lead you into the stock market, which is good because some of us made money, but then they'll call you a sucker at the end of the day. That's just cruel. That's just rude. So you see that they're talking about how the stock market is going to crash. I just want you to know I'm not the only person that's saying this. It says, I honestly think that the S&P 500 could fall another potential 37%, roughly from current levels. This is a prediction. That's enough to create a lot of damage, a lot of stress, a lot of bankruptcies, you name it. However, he added, gold and silver are set to take off amid otherwise bearish markets. So that includes precious metals, miners, etc. You've seen this happen over and over again. So this is something you all need to know. What's a bearish market? So a bearish market is something, it's like when it's not doing well, and a bullish market is when things are thriving, when you see things going up, when it's moving forward like a bull. So what this article is essentially saying is that the stock market is definitely going to crash. That's what he's predicting anyway, but gold and silver are set to take off. So let me pause here. You all know, yes, I am an affiliate with Miles Franklin. But hey, he has the best prices in the industry. If you desire to take your IRA, remember we're talking about decentralizing yourself, decentralizing your money, decentralizing your life, your food, everything. If you want to take out your retirement, not take it out, but roll it over into a gold IRA, or if you desire to take your fiat dollars, because you see the stock market is going to crash. We already talked about how Project Sandman said that was 100 plus countries that agreed behind the scenes to go to the gold standard, to leave the United States dollar and go to the gold standard. And what that article said, I brought it to you yesterday, I believe it was, or the day before, is as soon as that happens, the dollar will crash and every dollar denominated asset will crash along with it. We've already discussed how the dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power. Therefore, if you desire to take the fiat dollar right now, because we saw the debt clock, we know that the dollar is just dropping in value. We also know that as countries leave the dollar, all those dollars come flooding back into our country and become worthless, which is why inflation is going through the roof. Rents are going higher. Food is costing more. Gas has gone back up. Why? Because they continue to leave the US dollar. Country after country, and I've listed all those countries, 85% or more of the world population have left the United States dollar. So the dollar comes flooding back into our country, raises up inflation, and everything's going to crash. However, what you can do is take that money while they still saying it's money and buy precious metals. Put your savings into precious metals, because as the dollar devalues, gold and silver increases in value. You can take a worthless dollar right now, or like what, $25, and buy an ounce of silver, a 0.999 pure 1 troy ounce of silver for $25 right now. Okay. And then when gold and silver revalue, you will make a huge return on your investment. You saw it says that that is likely to happen. So you can call, you can email Miles Franklin at info@milesfranklin.com and ask him for a list of his inventories, because right now you can go to milesfranklin.com if you desire. But right now, what you will see is it's just for information purposes, but you can't yet take orders from that website, not yet, but we are getting up that interactive website. It's been a lot to do. We're moving to blockchain technology and all that. You got to keep all that in consideration. So and go to info@milesfranklin.com. Ask them for a list of inventories and prices. They will send you that. Plus, they will send you our weekly specials. Use promo code Dr. Kia Pruitt, or just put it's anywhere in the email. Dr. Kia Pruitt referred me, and you will get the best prices in the industry. Andy Schectman, the CEO, the gold guru, the gold CEO, promised us that he will be here actually on February the 1st on Freedom Day 2023. And I'm so excited because he has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. He has been in business for over 30 years. We're approaching 34 years he's been in business with his dad, and he's never had one single complaint. He's also an authorized dealer to sell products from the United States Mint. And there are only a very few dealers who can do that. Andy Schectman has been on our show. He has told us so much information about why gold is wealth, why silver is considered wealth, how many countries have left the USD. He's talked to us about the Iraqi dinar revaluing and every single thing that we've needed to know as it relates to gold and silver. He's the one that told us that last quarter alone, central banks bought 400 tons of gold, which is unprecedented. And he told us that there were mystery buyers, okay, that also bought precious metals. So this is why I work with Andy Schectman, because even our family members who have done business with him, they will tell you that Andy is awesome. They will tell you that his brokers are either family members or friends that he's known since high school, and that we affiliates, we are reputable people that have good, reputable lives. Our lives are clean. We do good business practices. Andy is not a type of person who will play about his business. We're talking about precious metals. We're talking about a billionaire who runs a multi-billion-dollar company that cares about we, the people, and comes on our show and delivers information. So again, that's info@milesfranklin.com. So John Wolf actually is my representative too. I don't know if I sent them to, to Chanel, but let me give you his information right quick. He is amazing. He gets right back to you. Justin does. Did we say Justin Wolf? Justin will get right back with you. He doesn't take a long time to get to you. So let me send you the information. He answers all your questions. He's been with Andy Schectman and Miles Franklin for a while. He's very professional. Thank you so much, Chanel. Oh, you use John Wolf. Okay, you use John Wolf. So you guys can use info@Miles Franklin, John Wolf, or you can use this guy too. Thank you, Chanel. So I'm gonna tell them to use that person. Or you can use Justin from Miles Franklin. That's his phone number and that's his email. So look at this here. Gold and silver, boom, predicted as the U.S. hits the debt ceiling and the dollar devalues. Remember what I said, as the dollar devalues. Oh, you said, Chanel said John Wolf. John Wolf. Thank you, Chanel. As the dollar devalues, gold and silver raises in value. It's real money. It's constitutional money. The Constitution defines the dollar as a fixed weight in gold, which is why Representative Alexander Mooney introduced House Resolution 5404 in 2018. That defines the dollar as a fixed weight in gold. Then he came again in October of 2022 and introduced House Resolution 9157, introducing the dollar as a fixed weight in gold. So we have that. We saw 13 states here in America that have already introduced legislation or passed legislation to use gold and silver as legal tender. Now, you really don't have to have bills passed when the Constitution already told you that silver and gold are money. So let's look a little bit at this article, and I'll do my best to get past this. Sometimes it'll try to play a An ad. Okay, so I don't see an ad. Yeah. So listen, the US hit its 31.4 trillion debt ceiling on Thursday. That was January the 19th, after the latest inflation data showed consumer prices still 6.5% higher on an annual basis. Meanwhile, gold and silver jumped roughly 15% and 21% respectively. Why are gold and silver jumping? Gold and silver are jumping because the dollar is devaluing. The dollar is devaluing because country after country have left the United States dollar. They've dropped the United States dollar. They've left the United States hegemony, or they've left United States United States leadership, United States control. So as the dollar devalues, gold and silver will increase in value. Now, what else is going on in the news? While we're celebrating Freedom Day or preparing for Freedom Day, we're hearing a lot of news about what's going on with the Iraqi dinar ever since the premier made an announcement in October. Remember, the premier said in October, that he would devalue the he would revalue the IQD, or the Iraqi dinar, against the United States dollar. So I just want you to go and look at this YouTube channel. It says RV Good News about the Iraqi dinar. This is Mr. Daha. He talks about the good news and how February 1st could be when the Iraqi dinar is revalued. And he's not the only person, but other people are saying it as well. And I don't want to keep you long today, so I'm just showing you those those channels, that channel and that video, so that you can go look at it for yourself. Then there was another one that talked about good news as far as the Iraqi dinar is concerned. And you all have also said it to me in the chat. So I'm going to put all this in the description section for you. This is a YouTube short that you can listen to, but basically this is what it says. It says, is this a very good time to conduct the project to delete the zeros and move to Forex? Since there is a shortage of dinar and dollars on the streets, it would be advantageous to do so. My impression is that it could not be a more favorable time in the history of this RV saga. So many people have said before they completely revalue the IQD, what they would do is take some of the Iraqi dinar off the streets and delete some of the zeros and then revalue it. But we know that it's going to be revalued because the Iraqi premier actually said so. The Iraqi premier said in October that he said, I'm going to fight endemic corruption. I'm going to work with other countries to return my stolen money, and I am going to revalue the IQD against the USD. So some people are saying that this could happen as soon as February the 1st, which is Freedom Day. And I have one more video that I want to show you. Here it is. It is revaluation by the 31st. Iraqi dinar news update, dinar IQD news, value IQD update. This guy's name is Dinar Data. So go to his channel because he talks about the Iraqi dinar and how it could be revalued by the 31st. So you have some saying it will be revalued by the 31st, and others saying that it could be revalued by actually the 1st of February. So what else? What else? Am I missing anything? You just went to self-checkout Walmart. All change was in coins, no bills. Wow. Thank you for bringing that up, alive and kicking. I've been to Walmart and they didn't have any dollars, and they would say credit card only. I've been to the dollar store. I've been to other stores and they would say credit card only, and they would say no cash back. And so when I would ask, well, what do you mean no cash back? I need some cash so I can go get some gas. And they would say, we're sorry, we're out of cash. So I asked the lady at the Family Dollar the other day, I said, every time I come in here lately, you got this big sign that says no dollars, you're not taking dollars, no dollars back. Has this been going on for a while? She said, actually, yeah, this is has been going on for a few weeks now. I can't tell you what's going on, but there's something going on with the dollar supply. And this kind of make me feel like we could be on to something when we say that the United States will no longer recognize the fiat or greenback dollar as legal tender on February the 1st, which is Freedom Day, or the day to release the slaves. It was the day, it commemorates the day again in 1865 when Abraham Lincoln actually liberated the slaves. I think, was that the Emancipation Proclamation? When he said all United States citizens were set free. So, well, I guess that does make sense. I said all sovereign beings, but no, we were classified as citizens. So we will be set free, and then we will walk into our sovereignty. So when you're no longer a citizen, you're no longer viewed as a slave, then you become deemed as a sovereign being. So what else is going on in the news? I want to share this with you because I'm going to get to a very important point. But let's first look at what Putin said. I love that Putin is not afraid of 46. And you all know that Vladimir Putin, who is, the premier or president of Russia, was one of the first to leave the United States dollar. So he's been saying since 2018 he was leaving. But when he went over to the ukulele and took out all those underground things that were going on with money laundering, things going on with children and all the drugs and all that, 46 put a sanction on him. And so he just said, I'm done. I'm not afraid of you all anymore. I always say he clapped back on that tail. And he said, I will just leave the United States dollar and I will move to a basket of currencies and commodities, or a basket of currencies backed by commodities for trade. So when Putin did that, he led the BRICS Union, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, as I keep reiterating, to do the same. They left, and that was 40% of the global population that then returned to either a basket of currencies backed by gold, which is why the Russian ruble was the highest performing currency in the world recently, and or instead of just a basket of currencies backed by gold, they actually went to using gold for trade. He led the BRICS Union to do it. That was 40% of the world population. And then Saudi Arabia left the United States dollar, which was crazy because what made the United States dollar the world reserve currency, or the currency, the standard, that we were on the the greenback standard, the USD, which was the world reserve currency. Everybody had to use it. What made it the world reserve currency, the USD, was our agreement with Saudi Arabia that we protect the Saudi kingdom in exchange for their oil. And y'all notice that the US debt clock said that the price of oil, the dollar to oil ratio is now 0. That's interesting. So we will protect the Saudi kingdom in exchange for your oil, and we will force everybody else in the whole world to trade using the United States dollar. And if they don't, we'll just send our military to them and we'll cause a war and we'll put sanctions on them. So when Saudi Arabia left the United States dollar and joined the BRICS Union, that was huge because that ended United States hegemony right there. That ended the United States dollar as the world reserve currency. So then, if we never saw the dollar devalue before, you knew it was going to happen then. You knew it was going to happen after the close, the shutdown, the pandemic, and all that money printing and all that devaluing the dollar. But then when Saudi Arabia joined BRICS, all these dollars came flooding back to the United States. And when people saw that the United States did not send a nuclear weapon over there like we have done before, to who was the guy over in Libya? I can't think of his name. Cannot think of his name. But was it Saddam? No, it wasn't. I always forget his name. But we would send war to other people or nuclear bombs, or we just to get rid of their leaders. When they saw we didn't do that to Saudi Arabia, country after country left the United States dollar. So here we see Russia, who led this whole exodus out of slavery, out of the dollar slavery, so-called Egypt, the proverbial Egypt, into the promised land. He did. Now we see him back in the news again. Putin is close to finalizing Asian trade settlement in gold that will rock the world markets. So I don't know who sent me this article. I can't remember if it was Metroid, or if it was my friend Kevin Monroe. Kevin Monroe's a good friend. We're good friends on LinkedIn. Metroid, Patrick Hawkins is my homeboy from Cleveland, my good friend from Cleveland. One of you sent me this article. It might have been Metroid, I can't remember, but Putin is close to finalizing Asian trade settlement in gold. So for all the people that do not know for sure if we're moving to the gold standard, almost every article now that you bring up about gold is talking about a country using gold for trade. This was just published on yesterday, January the 28th, 2023. Russian President Vladimir Putin is close to finalizing Asian trade settlements in gold. This move will cause enormous chaos for the West and will also rock world markets as gold is brought back into the monetary system by the great chess master Putin. I need to read that again. Vladimir Putin is close to finalizing Asian trade settlements in gold. This move will cause enormous chaos for the West, so they say, and will rock the world markets as gold is brought back into the monetary system by the great chess player or chess master Vladimir Putin. Now, it could rock the world markets. It could set the West back and cause chaos. And that's why you need to protect yourself and decentralize your money and put it into gold, which they just told you is now going to be the standard. They call him the great chess master because when 46 put a sanction on him, he clapped back in the biggest way possible. He said, I'm going to move to the gold standard, drop the United States dollar, take the whole BRICS union, which was a powerful union, being 40% of the world population, with me, and then give every other nation the kahunas, the BALLS, the strength, the courage, the bravado, the bravery to follow me and do the same. So if you didn't believe that we're moving to the gold and silver standard, please see that this is true. We truly are. Okay, now let's get back into some more news. What else is in the news? You saw that about Vladimir Putin. I will again put these articles. Oh, I need to stop. I've erased some of them in the description section for you to read for yourselves, my brothers and sisters. What is going on with Pakistan? Pakistan, this is a YouTube channel here. That's WION. Pakistan is in the news, and this is interesting because it says the Pakistan rupee is at a record low, and gold, somebody say gold. Turn to your neighbor and say, gold is the standard. Turn to your other neighbor and say, but silver is beautiful too. Gold is the standard, but silver is great too. Gold is the standard, but silver is beautiful too. That's what number 45 said. So listen to, I'm not going to play this, but look at this. The Pakistan rupee is at a record low. So if you're trying to find out which currencies to buy or get into, anytime you invest, they say buy low and sell high. The reason why the Pakistan rupee is low is likely because, they're probably printing a lot of money over there too. Their currency probably was devalued too after the shutdown and during the pandemic. But whenever dollar or currencies do not perform well, people desire to rush to a safe haven. So that means since my dollar that I'm saving in the bank or the dollar that's under my mattress isn't accruing any interest, it's lost 98% of its purchasing power, which the USD has. No telling how much the Pakistani rupee has lost. Whenever that happens, I'm going to take those dollars and I'm going to put them in something that increases in value or that maintains its value. I want to put it in something that has historically always been deemed as money all over the world. The whole world recognizes gold and silver as money and always has. Gold is God's money. Gold and silver have been around for eons. Gold is the reason that the Anunnaki, allegedly, the extraterrestrials came here from planet Nibiru to take the gold and then to mine the gold by the humans, have the humans to mine the gold, or the type of the beings that was the word of humans that I think that predated us. They had them to mine the gold so they can take gold and take it back to planet Nibiru and heal their atmosphere. So gold is also, I mean, not only has it been used for eons as money or been seen as very valuable, but it's also considered God's money, and it was biblical money. So go to this channel, WION, and you will see where they're talking about the Pakistani rupee is at a record low as gold is at a record high. So I just wanted you to see that. Family, there is a lot going on in the news, okay? There is a lot, enough going on to let us know that we're moving to the golden era. We're moving to a whole new age. Meanwhile, somebody say, meanwhile, meanwhile, they want you to focus on something else, okay? Now, I'll try not to get on my soapbox, but they want you to focus on something else. And this is what they want you to focus on. Okay. This is what the mainstream media, the lamestream media, fake news wants you to think about. Now, I know this is a serious matter when you talk about police shootings. And I know people, let me take a drink of water because I'm going to try not to get on my soapbox. Y'all pray for me. Everybody knows a word of prayer. Just go on in your sackcloth and ashes right now and ask the Almighty to please have mercy that Dr. Kia don't lose her peace right now when she goes off on these people who always got something to say about what's going on with Black folk and police officers. Now, I don't know how many people have been paying attention like I have, but whenever something is going to happen that's spectacular, or whenever we're moving towards election season, or whenever, there's some kind of news that's going to come out that they don't want you to focus on, what they'll do, unfortunately, is they will have a cop to shoot somebody. Now, I haven't seen the tape because I don't like to traumatize myself, family members. But one of my friends who's not even a conspiracy theorist said, Kia, that's something about that just didn't look quite right to me. It looked like it was a little off. I can't believe it's true. I'm not going to say it's not true. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to tell you that a false flag event is an event that it may be true. It may not be true, or it may be true. It could have crisis actors, or it could not. But what it is an event that they would instigate in order to get people riled up, to get people traumatized, and to emit psychic energy that we call loosh. When you're angry, you're in an uproar, you're confused, you're afraid, you're nervous, you're upset. And they always do it by having cops to shoot men classified as Black, or indigenous men, or copper colored men, however you want to see it. This is what they will do. You all know this, right? Whether it's true or not, allegedly, this has happened once again. Okay. And now I'm not going to go into how I really feel about this, because I would get some people upset, especially people that look like me. Parents, you need to do a better job of parenting. I'm just going to say that I'm a parent. And I've had, some issues with police may have what they call it when they stop your sons because, they think they're suspicious because they're brown or, but, and I still feel the same way. Even though I've had issues with police, I still feel the same way that we've got to make sure we do a good job of obeying the law. If a police officer stops us, I don't want to get on a soapbox. Look, don't cause any issues. Just they have the badges, they have the guns. Why are people fighting police? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Somebody please help me, pray for me, because I'm not there yet. But what I'm trying to say is they will always have something. We told everybody they're going to have some type of event, whether it's a Black Swan event or something traumatizing to cause the people to be in an uproar and to get you to be in angst or worry or anxious so that you can be looking over here while they're doing something over there. Now, if this happened, I didn't watch the video and it's real. Pray for the people, send your positive thoughts to them, send your high vibrational thoughts to them, pray for the families, and keep your emotions in check at the same time, okay? Because what they're doing this for is to unleash Antifa, Black Lives Matter into these communities to cause people to riot and to fight and to protest and whatever else. Now, if that's the way you handle your business, that's on you. But I will tell you that according to Black's Law Dictionary, a protest is not a march. It is not rallying. It's not going around in circles. It's not screaming. It's not hollering. It's not fighting or any of that. A protest, according to Black's Law Dictionary and etymology, is a notarized statement that discusses what you're disgruntled about. And it go through a process, a lawful process with this. After taking this notarized statement through proper channels, you go through the processes to get the matter resolved. It is not, a protest is not rallying, marching, saying we shall overcome, locking arm in arms, saying no justice, no peace. Now, I know that's what they taught you, but it is not the truth. And that's why you need to learn we need to know the etymology of words, and we need to learn what Black's Law Dictionary say about how law is to be respected and handled. So we see that they're trying to shut down our nation. That Antifa has been activated, and they've been activated in New York City, Los Angeles, Portland, San Francisco, Seattle, Boston, because of something that happened, I guess, in Memphis, and the Memphis BLM also coming out of the woodwork. They will bring them out everywhere in order to get the people distracted. So we're going to pray for them. We're going to send positive thoughts to them. We're going to keep our emotions in check. And let me tell you something about Antifa and Black Lives Matter. We know that when they ask for your donations, they're connected to an entity called Act Blue. Act Blue gathers money and funnels that money into the Democratic Party. Look it up. Act Blue. Antifa and Black Lives Matter, again, when you send donations to them, they are connected to Act Blue, which is some type of system, a monetary system that actually funnels that money into the Democratic Party to the left. So questions have come about as to what are they doing with this money, because what it looks like is that they're doing with this money that they're collecting, allegedly because they care about people that they classify as Black or indigenous men. First of all, they don't even like men. A lot of the leaders that are part of BLM, I'm going to call them out. They don't. They're homosexual women who don't like men. And they even say it in their website that they are against the nuclear family. So while you're masquerading like you like so-called Black men or men of color, no, you're lying. And it's okay. Your sexual preference is your sexual preference. But when you say in your mission statement that you are against the nuclear family, then you are sick in your mind if you do that and at the same time lie and pretend like you care about these men. Okay. Then what they're going to do, I'm going to tell you what they do. And I'm just going to tell the truth. They will use Black Greek organizations, the BGLs, Black Greek letter BGLOs, Black Greek letter organizations, to to lead marches, to use their platforms to say that they speak against the police officers. They will use them and their pastors and other leaders to form rallies and marches and even riots, and to join BLM and to join Antifa. I know what I'm talking about. I saw it with my own eyes in 2020. But the sad thing is that a lot of our Black Greek letter organization members do not realize that they're being used by the deep state to tear up their own communities, to tear up their cities. So what I'm saying, family, is while beautiful, magnificent, amazing things are going on as we are ushering in the golden era and moving towards Freedom Day, the nefarious deep state entities have allegedly shot another man of color to try to make us forget and lose focus on what's beautiful that's going on. So keep your emotions in check. Okay, I know it takes a high emotional quotient, as my sister taught me, high emotional intelligence. You have to be emotionally mature, that even when something terrible, traumatic happens, that you stay stable, you stay in prayer, you stay calm, and you stay focused on the goal, the mission ahead. So again, I'm not saying this is not a terrible thing to happen, but you all have to keep in mind, and we've said this before, that a lot of people who are in the police department, while we have good police officers, a lot of them that have been funneled into the police department are actually MS-13 members. Now, I said this in 2020 and I looked like a fool, but then a year later, they started talking about how they were arresting MS-13 members. And a lot of those MS-13 members were either initiated here in the United States of America, or they came from other countries and infiltrated the police department. So you have a lot of good officers in the police department, but you have a lot of gang members, a lot of thugs, and they have been given missions to do certain things to certain men. At the same time, you have some people that like to challenge authority, fight authority, act in criminal manners, and then think they're not going to be handled like a criminal. I don't understand why we're just placating criminals and acting like it's okay. It's not okay to shoot somebody. No, it's not okay to mistreat and abuse people that haven't done anything. But let's stop pretending like everybody is a good, righteous, moral, upright being. Let's do a better job at parenting, a better job of mothering and fathering, a better job of teaching self-respect and respect for authority, and a better job of obeying the laws. Then we can do a better job of understanding and overstanding the law and a proper way of handling grievances. Okay, a proper way of handling grievances is not tearing up your country. And we all know that Antifa was actually a group of thugs who were funded by George Soros, that billionaire. And by the way, these people who are in power, there was a triangle of power. And the number 17th letter told us this triangle, no, I'm not Illuminati, so don't come for me, had to be dismantled. You had the Rothschilds and Rockefellers and all of these bloodline families here. That was part of the triangle. You had the Saudi kingdom here, and then you had George Soros, Soros, there and his cronies. So they were all a part of the triangle of power. Antifa was funded by Soros, that billionaire. Black Lives Matter is funded by Soros. And they funnel money into Act Blue, which funnels money into the left or the Democratic Party. So again, they want us to focus on all that foolishness. And also, they very well may unleash Antifa and BLM into our communities, but we have to stay focused on the beautiful, beautiful benefits that are upon us. We have to stay focused on all the articles that are brought before you, as I told you that we're headed into the gold standard. And we have to remember this. We have to remember this, that this is the year of the Shemitah. So again, at the end of every 7 year, at the end of every the 7th year cycle is the Shemitah, the year of release, the year of letting go. And historically, what has happened is a crash, a market collapse, a housing market collapse, a financial collapse, because the nefarious beings did not want us to be released or let go. They didn't want us to experience a jubilee. And as a matter of fact, in 2001 on 9/11, we were supposed to have Nasara announced from the Pentagon. But instead, what they did is they took the gold out of the towers that were supposed to be used to offset the debt. They hid it, took it out. People went missing from work that day, right? Because they knew it was going to happen. They brought down the towers. They sent some type of plane or CGI, computer generated imagery, into the Pentagon from which the announcement was to come, and they did not release us. By the way, 9/11 was the year of the Shemitah, another end of a 7-year cycle. So remember, when the children of Israel came out of Egypt and went into the promised land, they were to count 7 years. On the 7th year of those 7 years, they were supposed to have a Shemitah, a letting go, a release, relieving people from their debt, having a debt jubilee, relieving people from slavery. We now are in a Shemitah year. We're at the end of another 7th year cycle, and we're supposed to have a release, but we will have a stock market crash because you have to get rid of the old in order to move into the new. But unlike other seasons, we will finally realize Nasara. So what is Nasara? I'm just going to go over this quickly. Nasara is the National Economic Security and Reformation Act. The global version is the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act. It was signed into law in 2001 by, was it 2000 or 2001, by Clinton. He didn't want to do it, but he did it. Some say he was forced by military. I don't know how he did it, but he did. He signed it into law, and it was supposed to be announced actually earlier, and it didn't happen. And then it was supposed to be announced in 2011, 2001, 9/11, 2001. So yeah, it was supposed to be announced in 2001. It was signed into law in 2000. It was supposed to be announced in 2001. It was not. They stole the gold out of the World Towers. They sent a plane or a CGI into the Pentagon, and it never happened. But this law was to relieve us. We were supposed to have a year of release. And remember, I told you that 2001 was a year of the Shemitah. Let's see what happened during Shemitah in history. I'm going to make this quick, you all. So isn't this something? Before I tell you what that is, let me just quickly let you see, oh my God, what happened. So you can know that I'm telling you the truth. I'm gonna bring you back here, but I want you to see what happened during the Shemitah cycle, the year of the Shemitah in America. And this affects the world, because whatever happens in America affects everybody. So here it is, Shemitah. Yep. Let me get rid of these ads. Maybe later. Okay. Here you go. Strange are the ways of the market. This is called timesofindia.com. It's right here. I'll put this in the description section of this video. Strange are the ways of the market. At a time when billionaires around the world are counting their losses from Black Monday carnage, and governments are looking for every valuable rule in their books to massage frail nerves of jittery investors, Shemitah is a little-known biblical term that is keeping market men around the world busy, meaning the last year of a 7-year cycle in the Jewish calendar. The end of the past several Shemitahs have brought in immense financial hardships to the world. By the way, we are in a Shemitah cycle right now. It started September the 25th, 2022, which was Tishrei 1, 5782 on the Hebrew calendar. That was actually Rosh Hashanah, or the New Year, or the Feast of Trumpets. Trump, as in Donald Trump, the Feast of Trumpets. Yes, the Feast of Trumpets is a sounding of an alarm. You have the blow the shofar or the alarm at the beginning of the new year. You blow the shofar or the alarm or the trumpet when you're making an announcement. You blow the shofar when the king is entering his courts. You blow the shofar if you're announcing a war. It's a big deal to blow the shofar. So September 25th was Tishrei 1, 5782, which was also the beginning of a new Shemitah year. Okay. So that was 22, 23. That whole from September 22 to September 23 is a year. It's a cycle. It's the end of the 7th year, the Shemitah. Okay. We're in a cycle right now. So the last year of a 7-year cycle, which we're in a last year of a 7th-year cycle in the Jewish calendar, the end of past several Shemitahs have brought in immense financial hardships to the world. I'm telling you this to make you aware so that you can be proactive. When you're proactive, you take responsibility. You're responsible. You have the ability to respond. You are wise. You have a positive mindset. You have knowledge, so you are responsible. You have an ability to respond to a situation. That's what proactive people versus being reactive. You're going to respond instead of react. You know this is a time that brings in immense financial hardships to the world. So how do you prepare? How do you respond? How do you show that you have the ability to respond to what we're saying is going to happen with the financial hardship to the world? You take your money out of their system and you put it into something that's safe, a safe haven. You plant your own food. You clean your own water. You have a water filter. You gather your resources. You find all the people that have gifts and skills and abilities, and you use them for the benefit of your family and your community. The biggest Wall Street crash, which was in 1987, happened during Shemitah. The 9/11 terrorist attack happened a day after Shemitah in this year here, 2001, which was also, wasn't that 9/11? Yes. And Lehman Brothers filed for bankruptcy and the subsequent 777 point, look at that 777 point fall in the Dow Jones 7 years later from 2001 and 2008 also happened during Shemitah. September 2015 being another Shemitah, which ends on Sunday, September 13th of that year, of 2015, and with the global financial market seemingly on a razor's edge, people from Wall Street are tanking up on their knowledge of this event from Hebrew history, because at the time of this article, this must have been written in 2015, it seems like they were preparing for something to happen. So I just wanted you to see that serious things happened during this Shemitah cycle, which was supposed to be a year of release. 1987, the biggest Wall Street crash. 7 years later, 1994, the Great Bond Market Massacre. Pay attention, family. 2001, 9/11. 2008, Lehman Brothers. And 2015, we also saw serious financial implications or crashes during 2015. This had to have been published in 2015. Let's see. Yes, August 27, 2015 at 4:09 p.m. What's 7 years after 2015 is 2022, which I told you was the beginning of the Shemitah. So a year is 365 days. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, CD City. Creator bless you. I sincerely appreciate you. May you be blessed or blissed with prosperity, long life, and peace. Thank you. I am trying to get to you, but I'm having a hard time. So what I'm saying, family, is prepare. We are in a Shemitah cycle, which means that we will have a stock market crash of some sort. So, but on the other hand, keeping in mind that the Shemitah is a year of release or a year of letting go, which is what Shemitah means, this is what you can expect. Okay, let's get down there. You can expect Nasara Jasara law. What is Nasara Jasara? the Global Economic Security Reformation Act, the National Economic Security Reformation Act, cancels all debt. That's credit card debt, mortgages, bank loans, automobile loans, student loans. All bank loans will be canceled. And people have been testifying. You all heard on that report with Mel Carmine just an hour before I started this live say that people have come on his podcast and said, I've been set free. Patriot Mom on my channel here, she's in the chat, has said that she had something that was released. Come on in, baby. She had a debt that was released. It will cancel all credit cards during this year release. I believe it will happen this year. Abolish the income tax law, which is why you've seen me bring forth articles that said that the GOP or the Republicans are voting against the IRS. That's happening right now. And that is why 45, under his administration, somebody introduced House Resolutions 24 and 25 to monitor and get rid of, demolish the IRS and the Federal Reserve, which again is why 45 put the duties of the IRS and the Federal Reserve underneath the United States Treasury Department. It's also why the 17th letter said, we have gold and gold will end the Fed. It abolishes the IRS. And remember, when we brought up the article about the GOP attacking the IRS, they said that they would completely get rid of the IRS and only have a flat tax. So, and I told you when I did that video, that would be a 17% flat tax on non-essential new ticket items. It increases benefits for senior citizens, which, by the way, happened at the beginning of this year. So people saw a huge, not a great big increase, but instead of like a little 1 or 2 or 3% increase, they saw like, I want to say like, it was like an 8% increase senior citizens, but it will go up even more. It will return us to constitutional law. It will also reinstate the original titles of nobility amendment. So most attorneys now that are operating are actually attorneys and not necessarily lawyers because they're not practicing constitutional law, but they have Esquire behind their names because they had to pass the bar, the British accredited registry, which means you work for the Queen. And with that Esquire behind your name, you have a title of nobility. And nobles believe that they're not our friends and family members. They don't know this, but the title of nobility is when you're a noble, you're above the people. And this is why you have to get rid of most of Congress, because a lot of them actually, not only were they nefarious and embarking upon nefarious trade and doing nefarious activities, but they have a title of nobility. And according to the Constitution, you may not have a title of nobility and create laws. Because why? Because as a noble, you're not going to do things for we the people. You're going to represent the crown. Establish new presidential and congressional elections, which will happen 120 days after the Jassara announcement. Monitors what goes on, what went on in 2020, that type of thing, and what's going to happen in 2024. Creates a new United States Treasury rainbow currency, which, by the way, again, we're hearing rumors that on February the 1st, which is Freedom Day, which commemorates when Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves in 1865 and actually did away with slavery in the United States. It's supposed to be forever, perpetually. So we're commemorating that day on February the 1st, 2023. And so we're hearing that to commemorate freedom, or in agreement or in alignment with Freedom Day, that the United States dollar would no longer be recognized as tender, but they would officially bring in and possibly announce the rainbow currency, the United States note, or the United States Treasury note, the USN or the USTN. So this creates, number 10th principle of Nassar, creates the new Treasury rainbow currency backed by gold, silver, platinum, and other precious metals, It forbids the sale of birth certificate records as chattel property bonds by the United States of Transportation. It will initiate new Treasury banking system in alignment with constitutional law. And we see that with Basel III and Basel IV compliances. It eliminates, which the last one we just saw come online January the 1st, 2023. That was Basel IV compliance. Eliminates the Federal Reserve System, which we know that already is happening. Restores financial privacy, which is the quantum financial system, and As I asked Mel in my last interview, you'll see that we published that today. Is XRP, is that connected to the quantum financial system? He said it is the financial system. So and that system is a system that is transparent, but a system that can only be accessed through the person to whom it belongs, that account belongs. And they'll have a way that only you can access your account. Only I can access my account. And the bankers will sign a non-disclosure agreement, not necessarily us. They will sign a non-disclosure agreement because they will work for us. It retrains all judges and attorneys in constitutional law. It ceases all aggressive United States military action worldwide. So 209 countries under Project Sandman agreed to return to gold standard. But another part of the agreement was that the 209 countries agreed to world peace. And that's why under 45, you didn't see any wars. And that's why under 45, you saw him meet Kim Jong-un. Establishes world peace, releases unprecedented prosperity with enormous sums of money for humanitarian purposes. And as a matter of fact, that is really interesting that it will enable the release of prosperity, unprecedented prosperity. Because if you remember, 5783 is the year that we're in right now, according to the Hebrew calendar. 5 plus 7 plus 8 plus 3 equals 5. That's the number of, what did I say? I'm sorry, it's the time of retribution. It is represented by the letter, the Gimel, which the Gimel, or the Gamel, I think they call it, is, what is the Gimel? The Gimel or the Gamel is a benefactor or a rich person that will help those that are in need. So this year represents a benefactor or a humanitarian helping people in need. So could Nassar be ushered in or officially announced or officially online during 5783, which is also 2023, the year of completion, which this year is the year of the water rabbit, the Chinese year of the water rabbit, the year of overflow, which is overflow, abundance, and also the year of prosperity? Most likely that would be in alignment with freedom, the day of freedom, or National Freedom Day, which will be February the 1st. And then it enables the release of 6,000 patents of suppressed technologies. Please go back and listen to that video that Mel Carmine and I did today, where we published it today. And on that video, he talks about a technology that he granted his mother access to. And he showed us how she was standing up and could barely walk and was trying to hold on to things. And then after using this technology, she was washing dishes and moving. And then the next scene he showed us, her playing with her dog and smiling, and she looked younger and healthier. Family, these new technologies are being released right now. And Mel Carmine decided that he's going to open up a system here in Florida, a center, here in Florida, using that technology. Not just that, what I call the magic wand or the iTerra, but also a technology that you turn it on and you're in the room with it. And you can have a whole lot of people in there. The more people, actually, the more energy that it absorbs, and it actually heals your body. Those are the precursors to the med bed, which is a technology that you lay in, which, by the way, Michael Jackson had, and it detects all your ailments in your body and heal them immediately. Also, it sets you back in age. It brings you back to life. It's like a fountain of youth. And then you have the med bed, which is a precursor to us walking through the chamber. The chamber is something that our what they call angel or spirit guide or mentor, galactic mentor, will help us through. So we'll each meet our mentor and we'll greet them and we'll get to have a relationship with them, and they will take us through a chamber that will reverse us in age if we desire to do that. And then it would make our bodies become crystalline. So this enables release of 6,000 suppressed technologies that were being withheld from us, from the public, under the guise of national security, including free energy devices, anti-gravity, anti-aging, sonic healing machines. And then lastly, well, almost last, right next to last, a quantum financial system and a quantum system that will handle the ELECTIONS. Got to spell out the words because sometimes if you say it, you get the flag. Or a QVS, the quantum V system, and a global currency reset and revaluation of currencies. A global currency reset is resetting the system, crashing the old system, crashing that market, getting rid of all that, the fiat, letting it go ahead and just crash and burn. They call it a crack boom. I learned that from Andy Sheckman, the CEO of Miles Franklin. And then go to a new sound monetary system. So when you in that system, and you're in the system of the United States dollar being the world reserve currency or the global currency, where once you demolish that system, excuse me, all currencies around the world have been devalued. So you have to do something to bring the value back. So what you do is you then bring back gold online, have all the countries to use gold for trade, and they use the gold as the standard, use gold to back their monies, their currencies, use gold for money as money. Remember, under Basel III, all banks had to be Basel III compliant, making gold a tier 1 asset. In other words, using gold as money, whereas before they were using the dollar as money. So when you have a gold monetary system and gold becomes the standard, then you change the value of that currency, of the world currencies, now based on the resources that each country has, like silver, gold, palladium, platinum, copper, and other resources. So that is, in essence, what Nasara and Gassara are about. And one of the other things that it will do is it will put a certain amount of money in each person's quantum account, kind of like a universal basic income, but a certain amount of money, since we're all going to be wealthy. Some people say tens of thousands. I used to hear it was 100,000 a month, but I'm hearing now that probably won't be that much. I don't know for sure, but it certainly will be a lot of money in everybody's account to compensate for the nefarious banking practices. Also, this money, you have to remember, is part of each of our bonds, because we each had a trust that was opened up for us. Each and every person on the planet had a trust that was open for them at the time of our birth. And so anytime we had purchased anything, it was supposed to be like the trust, or what was in the trust was supposed to like offset that. So in other words, pay it off or pay it in full or offset that debt. But what they did is they had us to sign these contracts, which kind of served as like a power of attorney that gave them access to our trust unbeknownst to us. And they paid themselves when we bought cars, when we bought houses, when we got loans, student loans, and all these loans and stuff like that, car loans. They paid themselves out of our trust, and then they forced us to pay them back and then put interest on top of that. But usury, which however you say it, which is interest, putting interest on the people is unlawful and unconstitutional. So we have to be compensated for all of that. So everybody will have a certain amount of money put into their quantum financial accounts. It could be tens of thousands. It could be a certain amount that we don't know yet, but it will happen. And this has happened in other countries before. For example, there are countries in the Middle East, such as I think Qatar is one of them. Kuwait may have been one, but in the Middle East, they were so wealthy that they would give everybody universal basic income because of all the oil and different resources that they had in their country. So this is what we have to look forward to, family. So whenever people are trying to upset you, or you hear the news and they try to spin it in such a way that is negative, frightening, upsetting, traumatizing, keep your eyes on the prize, and remember, behind every dark cloud is a silver lining. Remember, God has not brought us this far to leave us. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. Remember that old song? I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me. So, family, keep your eyes on the prize. Stay focused. Know that we're in a new era. We're in a Shemitah cycle, which is a year of release, which is a year of letting go, which is the year of a jubilee. Know that February the 1st is Freedom Day. Expect freedom. Expect prosperity, expect abundance, expect overflow as we are entering, or we are actually living in the Chinese year of the water rabbit, the year of overflow and abundance. Expect to be rich, expect to be a humanitarian and a benefactor today. Expect it right now. Don't wait till the battle's over. Shout now. Remember Edward Hawkins? Don't wait till the battle's over. Shout now. You know in the end, you're gonna win. Doom, 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 doom. Don't wait till the battle's over. Shout now. You know in the end, you're gonna win. So don't even wait till the war is over. Rejoice now. Get excited now. Be happy now. Be joyful now. Praise God now. Dance now. Okay, shout now, because we've already seen the end. We already know that we won. So it doesn't matter if they tell us that this is happening over there, and we send you our thoughts, we send you our prayers, we send you our positive energy, but we will not take our focus off of our freedom, our joy, our peace, and our prosperity. Okay, family. So having said that, I want to say thank you for all of you who have tuned in today. Thank you all for all of you who love us over here, who support us, who have encouraged who have encouraged our soul family. Thank you for all of the super chats. And I'm sorry I can't find you. Who is the CD City? I can see you at the top, but I can't find you to put you on the screen. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for just sharing your wonderful energy. I love you so much. I am glad to have you here. Let me send you this email here. If you desire to get into precious metals as we are in our conclusion, then please contact our good friend, hallelujah, Miles Franklin. I'm sorry, our good friend Andy Sheckman, the CEO of Miles Franklin, by emailing him at info@milesfranklin.com. And I will also put in Justin Wolk's information so you can call him and you can email him and he will get back to you. Somebody say I crack you up. But family, this is an exciting time. This is the year of Jubilee. This is a year of praise. This is a year of victory. This is a year of abundance and peace and prosperity. This is a year of joy and overflow. So I don't care what anybody says or what type of false flag events and what type of things that they try to do, then please, family, know that God has us, okay? That he will not allow us to go through something that we can't bear. What's the scripture say? It says he will not put more on us than we can bear. Now, let's end with this. I hope you all can hear this. So God will not put more on you than you can bear. That's just not the kind of God that we serve. So just know that even when things seem dark, victory is on the other side. And let's end, family, with this, if I can bring it up. But I hope I've said something to encourage your soul. Let's see if this is what I want to hear. Hold on. Put one in the chat if you can hear me. One in the chat if you can hear me. So, family, this is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I hope I've said something to raise your vibrations and to inspire you and encourage you to live the most amazing, most magnificent life that you desire and deserve. If you desire to purchase gold or silver, what you say? If you are, I can't see you, sister. If you have a desire to purchase gold or silver or to roll over your retirement into a gold IRA, then you can contact Miles Franklin by emailing Miles Franklin info@milesfranklin.com. Let them know that you would like to see a list of inventories and a list of prices. That either Andy Schecterman himself or one of his brokers will send you a list of prices, and it will let you see what he has in stock, and then it will take your order. Here, right, this person right here is my personal broker. His name is Justin Wolk. You can email him at WOLK@milesfranklin.com. You can call him. I love you too at 952-213-8930, and let them know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you so that you can get the best prices in the industry. And family, I am very tired and I am hot, but I'm excited about what is to come on February the 1st, on tomorrow even, and in the future. Good night, family. I'm going to bed night now. Oh, it's only 8:56 and I'm exhausted. Good night. Peace, family. We'll see you all later. Bye-bye. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share the good news with your friends and your family members. Peace. I love you all too. I love you all so much. You're my soul family. Good night.